Okay, so now I want to do two things for this video. Right, let's say around here, you can change if you want it to be different places. I wanted to say y is equal to sine of x, and I want to label the x-axis and the y-axis. So let's do the y equals sine of x part first. I want to add that, and I really want to add it like afterwards. So I want to do everything and then have it draw up here y is equal to sine of x. Okay, so I'm going to come up here, and so notice that up here, I'm creating all of the objects that I want to be added, and I'm not adding them until down here, and I'm actually going to get rid of this because I'm not using it anymore. Okay, so I've got the axes, I've got the graph with the dots, and now I'm going to do the text. So the text, I'm just going to call it text for now. You can give it a different name if you want. It's going to be math tech. This means it's going to be written in tech. And here's kind of the syntax. It's going to be R, and then you can use LaTeX in here to tell, to write what you want it to be. So it's going to be y is equal to sine x. Okay, and then I'm going to come down here, and I basically want the text to be added right after I do this. So we're just going to look at this self dot add text. Okay, so I'm going to run this. It's going to take a few seconds for it to compile. It's going to take a few seconds for the video to run. I mean, should be about a 6 or 8 second video now. 9 seconds. Axes should come the dot next. Graph, other dot, and okay. Well, we don't want to have that right there, do we? Okay, so here's how we tell where we want it to move. So text is equal to this, and now we're going to do text. And okay, so math tech is an object, and it has a method called move to. Okay, so move to, and let's see where we want to put it. Maybe somewhere over here. Okay, so this right here is pi, and this right here is 1. So I'm going to try to put it at like pi, x is equal to pi, and y is equal to 1. And this normally takes me a few tries to get it where I want. So again, I need to do my ax.c2p method because I'm giving it a point which is minus pi, x is equal to minus pi and 1, and that needs to change to the coordinates for the scene. So it's going to be minus in p dot pi, and y is going to be equal to 1. I'm going to run this. We'll see what we get. Okay, when you do this at the end of the scene, it takes a while to get there. I could just zoom ahead, but I'm not going to. Okay, y equals sine of x. Close. I think, this is, the coordinate's going to be like the middle of the text. So I want to move it over some. So I think I'm going to say pi over 2. Minus 3 pi over 4. Maybe this will be fine. And I'm probably going to keep it like this no matter what. And then you guys can play around with how, if you want, you can play around with moving things around where you want it to be a little more precisely. Okay, so there we go. I just realized I was not telling you what I was doing when I did that. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not going to edit that out. I've got minus 3 pi over 4. The thing that I just did was, that was weird. So I want it to, all right, so this is what I had. And if I zoom ahead here, it just shows up the y equals sine of x. Okay, it's better if it's kind of drawn out like you were seeing it before. So instead of doing add text, I'm going to do play. and then create text. And now we'll see what we get. Okay. Last thing I want to do in this video is show you how to add the X labels for the X-axis and the Y-axis. Okay, and so you need to go to the coordinate system. So, whoops, where was I? Yeah, so the coordinate system is where the labels are. Okay, so what do we have to do here? So X label, we're going to say ax.get X-axis label. Okay, and essentially what we're doing here is we're setting the label, and then we're going to add the label there. So this is what the X label is. If you do get X-axis label, it returns the position label. It takes in what you want it. So what does the X-axis label, what does the get X-axis label do and the get Y-axis label do? It takes in the label of the axis, some other data, like how you want it scaled, all of these things right here that we'll look at in just a little bit. And then it returns the position label. And then, so again, that's a object. So when we add it, it adds the labels like we want it to. Okay, so let's do that. So we're going to use this code here, the X label. So that's something that I probably want to do right before, I want to do that. That's associated with the axes, so I'm going to put it in the code with the axes. So X label is equal to ax dot get X label. I think that was the right thing. Yeah, I'll get X-axis label. Get X-axis. Get X-axis label. Okay. And we're going to, what is the name of the label going to be? For us, we're just going to call it X. Whoops. Something like this. So I'm going to test it just to make sure that I've got something at least partially correct here. So self.play, and I'm going to do self.play create X label. Okay. Whoops, forgot the E there. And we're going to see what happens when we run this. Okay, sorry, I'm going to have to pause the video and see where I messed up. Oh. This should be self.play. So now let's see what we get when I run it. So these are all of the animations that it's creating here. It tells you what it's creating here. Making the label. Now it seems like when I run this, let me pause this for a second. It seems like when I'm editing code in Visual Studios, it will actually cache a lot of the stuff that it's already done, so it won't have to redo everything. I don't know if it does that here, and it's kind of messed up since I inserted something kind of close to the beginning. But okay, let's see how this looks. Okay, X-axis. All right, not horrible, but not exactly where I want it to be. So let's come back over here. And so I think the best thing to use here then, sorry. So these are the different things that it can take in. This scales it. That will tell us how big or small to make it. These are other things, other options to give for the text. The buffer is how much space there is around the text. But I think the most straightforward way would be to say X label dot move to. Okay, so ax dot c2p. Okay, and again, we kind of want it to be at the end of the x-axis. The x coordinate there is, of course, 3.25, so I'm going to say 3.25, and we want it a little bit lower down on the y-axis, so I'm going to say minus 0.1. We'll see what that looks like. Again, it's having to sort of, I guess, re-render everything. Okay, perfect. I think that's exactly where I want the x-axis. So I'm not even going to look at the rest of it. Now I want to add a y-axis label as well. I want the y-axis label to be something up here. It's going to be very similar syntax. So y label is equal to ax.get y axis label. And I'm going to set it to math tech y here. And then y label dot move to, so ax dot c2p. The top y value is 1.1, and then I think for the x value, so I'm gonna do 0.2. Okay, so we'll see how that looks. Oh, shoot! I didn't add it down here. Well, this is exciting, isn't it? Axes, X label. Oh, Y label. Not at all where I wanted. What did I do wrong? Oh, I got this backwards. I want X to be 0.2. Some of y'all are probably screaming at your TV screen or your computer monitors now. Okay, let's try that again. One more time. Hopefully we'll have it. We'll just watch the whole video now if the Y label is where I want it to be. Okay, very good. So this is it. So a couple of things that I want to point out. This was a 12-second video. One of the reasons it was 12 seconds is because we added some time there. Like we added these weights here. If we get rid of these things, if we get rid of everything that says self.weight, so it's just like the animations and the adding things. Looks like there's just 2 of those. And run it, it's going to be down around 8 seconds or so. And yes, I'm kind of talking through what I want to do here, and so that'll make it take a little bit longer to write the code, but it'll still take kind of a long time to write the code and get everything right, especially if we're just starting out. So I have found that it takes a long time to get these animations up and going. If you're trying to figure things out, get things going, I have found that it will sometimes take quite a long time. I think I shared with you a video that I made about log plots and double log plots. I think that video might have taken like 10 hours to make. And it's not even like a great video. I mean, it does what it needs to do, but the point is, making videos and making animations takes a long time, even if we're using all of these tools that exist in the Manim library. Okay, I believe that's it. That's all that I want to do for this week. And then you will see, in the exercise, in the assignment, you'll get to write some of your own animations. But it's all going to be very, very much based on this. So basically, if you have Manim up and running, like the assignment is going to be very similar to the assignment that we have here. You'll just modify some of these things and stuff like that, so you can kind of type this, and really probably maybe you should have been typing this in your own Jupyter notebook as you followed along with me. Okay.